We're going to look at a equation such as y equals 4x minus 2. As you can see, this is an equation for a line, and it has two variables, a y and an x. In this case, it's important to solve for y. So put y over on one side, and then write it in this fashion, where you have the coefficient on x, and then some constant over here. Okay. The first thing we're going to determine is the y-intercept. Now, a y-intercept is where the line is going to cross the y-axis. Wherever it crosses the y-axis, the x value is going to be 0 for that point. Okay. So when x equals 0, the line will cross the y-axis. So for this equation, we're just going to make an x, y chart over here. And remember, when x is 0, that's when we'll find out where the line crosses the y-axis. So it's important to make x 0, and then I always like to choose 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and put 0 in for x. So that's going to be y equals 4 times 0, because we're putting 0 in for x, minus 2. Well, anything times 0 is 0, so this is going to be negative 2. So y equals negative 2 when x equals 0. Now let's go ahead and put in 1. So y equals 4 times 1 is 2. So is 2. So when x is 1, y is 2. Let's put x as 2. Now if you notice, our x's are going up by 1, so plus 1, plus 1, where our y's are going up by 4. So negative 2 plus 4 is 2, plus 4 is 6. So we know this is a linear equation because both the x and the y are going up by the same amount. However, it is not proportional because if I take my negative 2 divided by 0, 2 divided by 1, and 6 divided by 2, they don't all equal the same thing. So that means that this does not cross the origin of a coordinate plane, which we know because this point is not 0, 0. Okay. As a reminder, slope equals the rate of change. Or slant of the line. We know this as rise over run, or change in y over change in x. So remember, our change in y, we're going to subtract our y values over our x values. So here you're just going to choose 2 points. And you can choose any of these 2 points that you want to. I'm going to go ahead and just choose, let's choose these ones, because there's no negatives, and lots of students don't like to work with negatives. So if I choose the 2 points, 1, 2, and 2, 6. And now I'll just put them into this equation. So my y2 would be 6, my y1 is going to be 2, my x2, and my x1. 6 minus 2 is 4. 2 minus 1 is 1. So this is my rise, and this is my run. So for every 4 that it goes up, it goes 1 over. 4 up, 1 over. 4 up, 1 over. Okay. Let's go back and let's look at our original equation. Y equals 4x minus 2. The first thing I want to look at is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is when x equals 0. So it's going to be right there. So we learned that our y-intercept is negative 2. Interestingly, take a look here. Negative 2. Next, I want to point out the slope. Remember, the slope is the rate of change for the rise over run, and that was 4 over 1, which is 4. This is true for all equations written in this form. This is known as slope-intercept form. M, x, and then b is the y-intercept. So if you notice, our m in this case is 4, so the slope is 4. Our b in this case is negative 2, so our y-intercept is negative 2. So this one, m equals slope. This one equals 1. In your summary, you are going to want to find some equations written in slope-intercept form and either use your highlighter to highlight in the same color all the slopes and intercepts in the other color, or you can just write m equals. So let me give you an example. So if you're using y equals 11x plus 8, your slope m is going to be 11, and your y-intercept is going to be 8. So go ahead and for one or two more, go ahead and find your own examples, figure out what the slope and intercept are. Don't forget over here, you should probably pull out some important vocab terms such as y-intercept, slope, b, m, and then how you find each of those. Thank you.